What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Game Winning Drive.
Superstar nightlife, gold pockets on smoke. It's all about the cash flow. So come on and get this money, man. Getting paper, and we always do it major on the stroll. You know it.
Yes, sir. We're back again. Episode number 32 on deck tonight. As always, I'm your boy Drew, host of Game Winning Drive, and we are presented by The Buzz. And as always, my co-host is with me, Alex Krogan. Alex, man, how was your weekend, man? How was your week?
Weekend was good, man. We're back in lockdown for Navy over here, so just, hanging out in the house, not really doing much, not seeing anybody. We recorded record numbers this last week for deaths and all kinds of hospitals. I mean, it's crazy, COVID's out of control, but my family's good to this point. We're doing good, man, so can't complain. My Browns won a huge game this weekend, so obviously, I was stoked about that. I tried the old reverse jinx and took the Titans instead of the Browns, and
Idiot.
Maybe it worked.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Week 14 picks at the end of our show, as your boy has came back to tie Alex because I had the Washington football team taking the upset.
Had the Washington football.
Oh, that's right. So you're right. Yeah, that's right. You're still a game above me. That's right. I forgot. So with that being said, man, weekend was good. If you guys didn't tune out last night, man, record numbers for the Buzz. Over 3,000 viewers on Twitter. Myself and Daniel Bockley, who is the host of Cage My IQ and co-host of Stand Your Ground. We interviewed Wes Bergman last night, who is one of the GOATs of the challenge. And once again, we want to give him a special thank you and a shout out to him for taking an hour of his time for us to interview him. It was an amazing interview. Alex, I know you were definitely intertwined with it. And like I said, record numbers for us on Twitter. Also for YouTube, just a huge thank you and a huge congrats to him for the season, which is airing tonight, which is the Challenge 36 Double Agents. Once I get off, I will be watching that with my wife. I cannot wait. But with that being said, man, I still have some issues with my pubes, and I need a little bit of Manscaped to help me in my life. As you see, I am rocking the Manscaped t-shirt. Got to give a shout out to Manscaped, who we are in a partnership with. If you guys can help me out, help the brothers out at Game Winning Drive, you can see in the bottom of the ticker, Game Winning Drive 2020, 20% off, free shipping, an amazing box, cutters, oil juice for the balls. It's good for go, man. You need it. Your balls will thank you, like my boy will say. It's definitely done wonders, and also you can use it for your head case, like for Alex's case, you have a bald head, and for beards.
Don't go down.
Is the product to go to the
Don't go to the basement first and then go to the head, though. All right?
No, don't do that.
Weird.
No, check this awesome ad that we have with Manscaped that might give a little itch to your pubes that you might want to buy. Yes, sir. Manscaped, man. If you guys need to buy one, help us out. We appreciate it. Guys, a lot to talk to tonight. We're going to get into such a crazy Week 13. Some huge upsets, the Washington football team, and also with the San Francisco Niners not winning. A ton of upsets, man. We got to get into it. Philadelphia Eagles have named Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback for this Sunday. Huge news. We got to get into that and dive into that as Carson Wentz will be sitting and playing backup to Jalen Hurts on Sunday. You're sitting $106 million man. Me and Alex are going to talk about it. We're to get into our buy and sell. We're also going to get into our fantasy zone and our week 14 pick'ems. Let's get into it, Alex, right away, man. I want to hear your thoughts. These are our hot topics, and we bring the fire. The Eagles have named rookie quarterback Jalen Hurts the starting quarterback for this Sunday. What is your reaction to this, and did you see this coming?
Yeah, listen, this pretty much solidifies my prediction that Howie Roseman and Peterson are gone after this year. How in the world do you put your franchise quarterback as your backup? I understand he's in a slump. I understand that, he's not playing well right now. But if you think Jalen Hurts is the answer, it's baffling to me. I think what did he go, 2 for 16 or 4 for 16 or something? It didn't look any better. He's just more mobile at this point, right? And is not seeing ghosts because he hasn't been sacked 117 times through 12 weeks, right? So of course he's going to bring that energy. He's younger. He doesn't have the wear and tear that Carson has. Obviously, Carson has an injury history. Now, maybe Roseman and Peterson have decided, look, the way we are right now, we're not going to make the playoffs anyways. Even though this division is winnable, we don't have the team to win it, right? So maybe they're trying to save Carson for next year. If that is the case, then okay, I understand this move. But if your move is to truly move on to Jalen Hurts, I think you're making a terrible mistake.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it's a terrible mistake as well. I don't know. I don't understand the move at all. It's not like he's going in and going to be surrounded by great talent. Carson has been sacked 3+ times in so many games. So, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But I don't think Jalen Hurts is the difference for this right now. I don't know what the pressure's coming from. I don't know if it's from Howie, but I don't know why Peterson's making this move. It truly makes no sense to me. I'm a little mind-boggled, to be honest with you. Carson Wentz contract doesn't even kick in until next year. I don't see any team wanting to trade him. If you want to trade him, wouldn't his value be more by him playing more? I don't understand it. If that's your end goal, then why not just go ahead and keep playing him? I don't get it. That cap hit, I'm not taking. I'm not giving the Eagles a first, second, or a third. There's no value for Carson Wentz right now. So I'm just confused on the situation. I'm confused on the decision. And not only that, they're playing against a pretty good team on Sunday. So, it's not like Jalen's going to, shock the world for us. I think they're going to get owned. It's stupid decision, right?
Yeah, 100%, man. Listen, honestly, though, if you're the Colts, right, because that's ultimately where I think Carson Wentz plays, is in the Colts, right? Legit. I think that's the place that makes the most sense. They can trade for him, restructure that deal. They have a huge amount of cap room, right? I know you're talking about Prescott going there, but Prescott's coming off a more serious injury, right? At least Wentz is healthy, maybe not mentally right now, but physically healthy, right? So I think he makes more sense for them, right? And they have a ton of weapons, one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. So, unless Jalen Hurts is going to play left tackle, left guard, and right tackle, it's not going to improve. There's not going to be any improvement in play. So, like I said, this decision makes absolutely no sense. But 90% of the decisions they've made, have not made sense for the last, 3 years. Their draft picks are terrible. We talked about that. We discussed that when Brian was on here, right? So it's another bonehead move by the Eagles. I know you're relishing in this because it's causing Austin all kinds of turmoil. So you're probably happy as heck, right? But I want to see good football, and I don't think this is going to be a good product. I think it's going to be an absolute train wreck on Sunday.
No. I agree. And we're not going to spend that much time talking about it. We're going to move on. Alex, plain and simple, what's going on with the Seattle Seahawks offense? They haven't been explosive as they have been in the past. Last week, the Giants seemed like the Giants really exposed them offensively. Russ and DK couldn't get it going. Tyler Lockett's been non-existent the last couple of weeks. And, obviously, the loss of Greg Olsen shouldn't hurt that much for this team. Chris Carson came back. He had a little bit of a spark, but it seems like this offensive line forgot how to block. What's your take in this, man? What's your take on the Seattle Seahawks right now?
Yeah, so the emergence of DK to be a true number one, the way he's playing this year, has had a terrible effect on Lockett. And I think we're starting to see that, right? Lockett was always Russell Wilson's safety valve, right? He was always that guy that got the chains moving. He's shifty. He's not a true number one, but he's a fringe number one is what I would call him, right? He has some number one skills. He's just not a true number one, right? So he makes a lot of things work in that offense. And now it's a case of what happened in Cleveland, I really think, when OBJ was healthy. If you look, since OBJ went down, Baker is a much more efficient passer of the ball. He's a much better quarterback. In the first half, he had 9 targets or 9 different receivers, right? Now he has DK. He's only looking for DK, and he's missing a lot of open receivers, right? So it sucks, right? Their running game is not anywhere where it needs to be. So Russell feels that he has to put everything on his shoulders. He has to force the ball down the field, and he's looking for DK too much. Lockett, I think, had 2 targets or 3 targets in the game. That's way too little for a guy that's been as productive as he has. So I don't know what the answer is. And honestly, besides I went back and looked at a lot of Russell, because I figured we were going to talk about it after I watched that game, how horrid it was, right? And I don't really have an answer for you. It looks like he's trying to go through his progressions, but he's going to number 2, and then he's popping back to DK to see if he's one-on-one. Like, he's not going through his regressions like he should. So maybe that's the main issue. The running game hurts. Their offensive line is not playing the way it had been playing for the first 7 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it was. I don't have a true solid answer for you. I'm not impressed with their defense either, to be honest with you. So they have a lot of issues, and I think they're exposed at this point, and everybody is seeing the same film that we're seeing, and these guys get paid a lot of money to break that down and find the weaknesses. So they're doing it, right? I mean, that's their job. So,
yeah, man, I agree. Yeah, the team has fallen apart offensively. There's no spark. The offensive line has fallen to shambles. Russell Wilson's getting hit constantly. You can tell that he can't do what he usually does, which is stay in that pocket and then pop when the hole opens up. It's not there. And defense are playing a lot of contained D on him, and they're living and dying on pretty much on the double coverage with DK, and it's worked. The Giants have been playing great ball, especially on their defensive side. To win a game with Colt McCoy at quarterback is just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing for the Seahawks. This loss dropped them from to the 5th seed, and it also got them out of the NFC West. Now it's a 3-way tie between them. It's a 2-way tie between them and the Rams. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this season goes down, because the Seahawks are supposed to do have one of the most easiest schedules to close the season, and the Rams don't. But the way the Rams are playing, who we talked about last week, arguably could be the best, the most complete team right now in the NFL. So, I don't get it. I have no answers for it, but I've never seen a guy drop off so fast in MVP conversation like Russell Wilson. Through 8 weeks, there was no one going to touch him. And now it's Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and nobody else. That's who I see as my 2 MVP candidates right now. But that's another topic for another day. Speaking of quarterbacks, the New Orleans Saints have been rolling with Taysom Hill the last couple of weeks. He's still proving the critics wrong and the haters wrong. He's still winning games. He beat the Denver Broncos. He's beaten the Falcons. Is that enough to say that the Saints are going to be okay? Or how bad do the Saints really need Drew Brees to come back?
I mean, let's be realistic. The Broncos are putrid, and the Falcons are not far behind them. They just happen to have a lot of talent on offense, but their defense is still stupid bad. And, they got lucky that Drew went down when he did, I feel like. They had 2 games that were very winnable by Taysom Hill to play the style that he plays. And they have so many weapons and a really good defense, an underrated defense that doesn't get a lot of credit, right?
Mhm.
So they're good enough to win those games, but put them against a powerhouse like Kansas City or Green Bay or even Tampa. If they play Tampa now with Taysom Hill, I think they get mopped, they get mollywopped, right? So David Jones, yeah, that's great. You're the number 1 seed, but without Drew Brees, you're not winning a Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's great to be the number 1 seed, but if you go out in the second round because you get that bye, what did you really do? Nothing. So, and that's what I think will happen if Drew does not ultimately come back in time, get back into shape to play, because he needs 1 or 2 games before the playoffs to really knock the rust off, right? So we're looking, he needs to come back next week or week 16. If he comes back in the playoffs, good luck. I mean, I don't think, he's going to, it's been what, 4 weeks now? No, 3 weeks, because they had the bye when he got hurt and then 2 weeks of Tyson playing, right? So they were saying 4 to 6 weeks. I think they need it to be 4 weeks instead of 6 weeks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they definitely need Drew bad, and I'm not impressed with them being the number 1 seed if they don't have Drew Brees at the quarterback position.
Mollywop by 3 points, and we went out wild card round with Drew last year.
Okay, but was your team playing as good as it was this year? No, they weren't. So your defense wasn't as good as it is this year.
Our reaction to Dez Bryant being scratched last minute due to a positive COVID test. Obviously, Dez Bryant was about to play against his former team, which was the Dallas Cowboys. He was there for warm-ups. His first test was inconclusive according to reports, and according to protocols, inconclusive test pretty much means a positive test according to what the NFL placed. But somehow, some way, he was still able to warm up on the field. Then they ended up scratching him, not letting him play. Alex, what's your reactions? Do you think that NFL got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, or was this just a bunch of miscommunication? I mean, where do we go from here with this?
Listen, I'm probably going to get murdered for this, but this screams Jerry Jones to me. Do we have a true confirmed positive test? No. To my knowledge, we don't. Right? There's all this cloud of mystery around this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were the Ravens' chances less of winning without Dez Bryant? Probably. Not much, but probably, right? So what would it cost them for them to, all of a sudden? It's just weird. Like, it's really weird that they all of a sudden, he was on the field getting ready to warm up. They had the results back for hours before he went on that field. So why didn't you cancel the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
Why didn't the game get canceled? Why didn't it get pushed?
Especially with contact tracing going on, I don't.
Exactly. So
I don't know, man.
It's very weird to me. That was one of the weirdest things since all of this has started in all of sports. That's one of the weirdest things. You knew they had the results 2 hours before game time, right? So why all of a sudden is it now a big deal? And you got to run out on the field. You got to send your GM out there, make a scene, pull him off the field, retest him, and then all of a sudden he's positive.
Yeah.
When you don't have a positive test, how do you justify that? I mean, he's emotional, right? And I understand why he's emotional. I mean,
still is.
Yeah, of course he is. He said he's done. He said he's not going to play football. He said he's retiring, like, for a second time. Like,
no,
I don't know, man. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen so far in the weird world that we live in now with COVID, and I don't have an answer for you that makes sense because none of it makes sense to me. Like,
yeah, man. Good.
No, I'm finished.
Man, it doesn't make sense to me. It's the most weirdest story of the year. I don't get it. The game should have been canceled, honestly. If he's positive and he's out there playing on the field, I mean, good God. It's just the NFL just got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. I don't know if most sport outlets are talking about it today, but for me, it just seems out of place and just out of nature. I don't know why they let him go back and warm up on the field if it was inconclusive test from the beginning. It makes no sense to me at all whatsoever. And you know, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of really. I feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten the short end of the stick throughout all this, including last week. NFL postponing for Baltimore Ravens for Lamar Jackson to come back. Pittsburgh Steelers had to play 3 games in a matter of 15 days. We saw that on Monday against the Washington football team, which we're going to dive in and talk about a little bit. But, you know, I don't see a fair, even playing field right now with how the NFL is handling the COVID situation. But with that being said, we're just 2 guys that love talking about football. But before we get to second down, buy or sell, guys, check out this awesome clip about the buzz and the podcast that we have going on during the week.
War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you all know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block, throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look, what's the top dish? Tie game, through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. Tell them that's what we ready for.
Yes, sir. That's where you could get all of our podcasts and all of our shows during the week on the Buzz. Second down, buy or sell. We're going to be real quick about this. J.D. McKissick, obviously we found out on Monday, Antonio Gibson, a severe turf toe injury. Looks like he's going to be out for a little bit. We don't know yet. It's kind of uncertain, but let's focus on it. J.D. McKissick, are you buying or selling, Alex, on his fantasy usage and his production?
If Gibson's out, I'm buying. I picked him up in our league that we play together in, and he had 2 very good weeks for me. You know, I think it was 18 points and 22 points. Yeah. And then Gibson comes back and he has 11. Right. So
right.
Still 11 is not terrible, but it's not, you know, what I needed out of him. So
right.
Yeah, if Gibson's not in, that offense runs the ball enough that he will get touches and he will get some probably a touchdown if they're in the red zone. They like to run in the red zone. So, yeah, I buy him if Gibson is out. If Gibson's in, you sell hard.
Hey, without a doubt, man, I'm buying. It was a great pickup by you, by the way. It definitely a buy. A lot of targets, involved heavily in the passing game. And what we all know who the quarterback is right there is Alex check down Smith. And he's always going to check down to the running back on the outside, the ins, the outs, the posts, the corners. They love their running backs. He loves his running backs running routes. So I'm definitely buying for playoffs, which start this week for most leagues. New York Jets running back Ty Johnson. Are you buying his fantasy stock or selling?
So, you know, I read a lot of forums and stuff. A lot of people are buying. They're calling him a sleeper. They're thinking
top waiver pick this year.
Yeah, they're thinking he's really going to be very productive. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll go with the experts and I'll say I'm going to buy. But I don't know personally. I haven't seen enough of him to know that he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say no. I'm going to sell. It's just because it's the Jets, and I don't like who they face these last 3 weeks of playoffs for fantasy. And also Frank Gore's there. He's going to be a freaking pain in the ass because sometimes he could just go off. And Adam Gase is just a dumbass. So who knows what's going to go with him? He probably just go with our BBC running back by committee. Whoever has the hot hand is going to be rolling because it doesn't matter. It does not matter what the Jets are doing. But Ty Johnson is nothing I would look at. I disagree with Matthew Berry. Let the lightning strike on me twice. I disagree with one of the best analysts out there in some people's minds. I just don't think he's a top waiver wire pick at all whatsoever for me. When you got guys like Benny Snell and and other dudes who I just can't think of the top of my head right now. But Kalen Ballage still available in a lot of leagues. I would take those guys before Ty Johnson. That's just me, though. This time of the year, unless your running back is stable, is looking pretty. You got to buy. Yep, that's a good point, David. It's a good point. Former Bengals head coach Marvin Lewis will coach the Jets in 2021. Buying or selling? There was an article this morning, and the Damian Woody, who is an analyst of ESPN, has got the blaze running on Twitter that Marvin Lewis would be a perfect choice and candidate because when he came in for Cincinnati, look what he did. He fixed a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and got that franchise turned around until, he could never win a playoff game. But he got them in the postseason a lot of good years, a consecutive amount of years. Are you buying or selling on this, Alex?
I think I'm going to sell. And the only reason I'm going to sell is this, right? Earlier this week, Bill Cowher said that he thinks this is the best coaching job in all of football.
Yeah.
That he was considering coming out of retirement to take this job. So for some reason, these very high-ranking, well-liked coaches all want this job. So the Jets might have a bidding war essentially by head coaches, very good candidates that want to come in there and turn this ship around. They see that there's some talent there, right? I think Darnold can be the answer if they can get him to stop seeing ghosts and protect him, right? Geez. Because he looked really good. It's a Baker thing, right? He looked really good his rookie year. You saw a lot of promise, and then he got the sacks just piled up and seeing ghosts, and he's throwing to receivers that aren't there, and so there's some talent there, and these high visibility coaches want to be associated with this program. So I don't know that Marvin Lewis, if I have a choice between Cowher and Marvin Lewis, I personally am taking Marvin Lewis because Bill Cowher's been in the broadcast booth for 15 years now, right? But a lot of people still think that Cowher's one of the greatest coaches of all time. So, but a lot of people do, right? Argue whatever way you want to say, right? But he left on good terms. He retired. He didn't get fired, right? So, sorry. I think there's going to be a lot of coaches wanting this job. So I'm going to sell only on that basis.
I'm buying because I believe that Marvin Lewis has the intangibles and the skill set to do what he did in Cincinnati here in New York. I think he can make good draft picks and make the right decisions that he needs to make. I'm not a believer in Sam Darnold. I'm opposite of what other people think. I just don't think he has the goods. This will be so many different offensive corners, which I understand and I get. The guy's injury prone, makes bad decisions. I think he needs I really think he needs a new place to go play. That's how I feel about it. Just like the same I feel about Carson Wentz. Yeah, man, I'm buying it. I like Marvin Lewis. I like him a lot. I think he can get a good coaching staff in there, and they could probably turn this Jets franchise around. It's a lot better in the NFL when I see the Jets are better. They've been stinking since 2009, 2000. Yeah, I think 2009. I don't remember the last time they even made the playoffs. I think that was when they beat the Chargers.
I think that was Chad Pennington's last year, right? I think that's when they were
Mark
good.
Sanchez.
Oh yes, my bad, Mr. Butt Fumble himself.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's what Rex Ryan was doing something right. Yeah. So you're buying. You're selling. I'm buying.
Yeah.
Alex Smith, Washington football team's quarterback. Are you buying or selling for the playoffs if you need a quarterback?
I'm going to sell just because of what we talked about, the checkdowns and everything else. I don't think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns. So, and obviously you need that from your quarterback is touchdowns. That's what gets you the most points, right? So I'm gonna sell.
Yeah, I'm selling too. I just run and check down, and then get to the goal line, and then they're gonna do some stupid ass trick play where Logan Thomas runs it in, and that's how I see it. Alex Smith, I can't really trust him, even if he was playing against the Jets. I don't feel comfortable with starting Alex Smith at all. Maybe next year when he gets another full year rehab, it's going to be real interesting to see what the Washington football team is going to do this offseason. You know, Ron Rivera has implemented this team. He's tag marked this team the way that he wants it to be. That defense is going to be scary in the NFC East for years to come. They just need that one player at quarterback, and I think Alex Smith is great. I love him as a comeback story, and what he's doing, being the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's amazing. It's a fairy tale, but I just can't. I can't give him the keys. I can't. So it's gonna be really. They obviously won't have a top pick, so it's gonna be really interesting what they're gonna do in the offseason. Jared Goff, would you pick him up if you need a quarterback for week 14, 15, and 16 of the playoffs for fantasy football?
Yeah, I'm buying. There's too many weapons there. That defense has taken a step forward, which gives him more opportunities with the ball, the turnovers, and everything that they're producing. Right? There's now with the emergence of Cam Akers, I think that hurts him a little bit fantasy production wise because they want to run the ball. McVay wants to run the ball, right? He wants to run everything off the run, and that opens up the field more for his creative play calling and everything like that. But there's just too many weapons. I think Cam Akers can only break one or two 50-yard runs. They're going to throw the ball a lot. So, yeah, I'm buying 100%. Yeah,
definitely. I'm buying, too. Too many weapons. Although Sean McVay, I feel like they're passing more now. And, Cam Akers had a couple of runs. Darrell Henderson, who just lost his value, he had another big run against Arizona. Was it Arizona last week? Yeah, Arizona. So with that being said, man, it's just I love the weapons. How can you not be infatuated with, Woods, Kupp, and Higbee, and there's just and Reynolds. So I mean, it's a lot of offensive firepower that you could add. And I like their schedule's tough, but there's some matchups there that you can feel comfortable with in week 15 and week 16. So we'll see. Brand, check out this second commercial from the Blitz.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I go far. Check me out now.
There you go. That's where you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and Instagram at The Buzz. Check us out, man. We got articles. Just launched our website. Alex, I know you've been checking it out. Our website is actually amazing. We're getting written articles in, guys, 15 to 20 articles a day. Come check it out, man. It's really good stuff. A lot of good opinions out there at The Buzz. Alex, obviously, Fantasy Zone, we got to give the people what they want. This is week 14, the first week of the playoffs. A lot of information we need to give. We give them wrong information. They might cancel us. I'm just kidding. And so here we go. I got Taysom Hill as my start, as I must start this week for quarterback. Giovanni Bernard for the Cincinnati Bengals. Wide receiver Corey Davis against the Jacksonville Jaguars is my must start of the week. We saw him what he did last week against the Browns. He absolutely torched that secondary when they were on the way of a comeback. I don't see the Jaguars being able to stop Corey Davis with Derrick Henry still there. And then my little bit of a surprise, Hunter Henry against the Atlanta Falcons. I know Atlanta Falcons defense is playing a lot better, but I feel like Herbert needs to rebound like no other after last week's showing, which is absolutely putrid. But it was great for me as a Charger fan. Love seeing that because then we'll get a higher draft pick, hopefully. Who are the Saints playing this week?
Oh, man.
Are they playing the
I just looked at it, too, before the show. Sorry.
I know. I just draw a blank right now.
The Eagles. That's right.
That's right. They're playing the Eagles. Hill's definitely a must start for me this week. Yeah, man. So those are my must starts. I love to hear your guys' comments. Give us your comments. Give us your questions if you guys need help. For Alex, Alex has Tom Brady going against the Minnesota Vikings. I love that. That's a great start. Wayne Gallman for the Giants, who's been on an absolute tear. They are playing the
Cardinals.
And Robbie Anderson for the Carolina Panthers, probably arguably a top 10 fantasy wide receiver this year. I love their
Broncos who have been
I love their matchup this week.
Yep.
And then obviously you got tight end who you love so much this year, Dalton Schultz for the Dallas Cowboys. Alex, talk about it, bro. Why are these guys?
So I'll start with Schultz, right? He's been impressive against every defense he's played this year. I think they really now have a two-headed monster at tight end. He's been just very impressive, and I mean they're playing the Bengals. The Bengals haven't stopped the tight end since like 1953. So not seriously, but you get what I mean. Like the tight end has been torching. Every tight end has torched them. The Vikings the wheels have fallen off there, in my opinion. I just am not impressed with them. I don't think they're on the outside chance of a playoff push. I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't. I think they're probably going to drop probably 2 out of the last 4 games, which is going to put them at 8-8. And I don't think you're in contention at 8-8, right? I just don't.
They beat Tampa this week, man. That's huge.
100%.
That's huge.
This is a must win for Tampa at 7.
Without a doubt.
Must win.
Without a doubt.
Tom Brady has looked bad the last couple weeks. He's looked bad. He's looked old, slow, not making the right reads. He hasn't looked impressive. They have to win this game. So that's why I'm going with Tom. He comes in when he has to come in. Robbie Anderson, to me, to be honest with you, the best thing in the world for him was getting traded to the Panthers. He was written off in New York, absolutely written off. He would have splashes here and there where he'd have a good game, but not consistently. And he, like you said, he's a top 10 fantasy wide receiver this year. He's been very impressive. And they're playing the Broncos. I mean, that's enough right there.
I love it. For me this week, man, my must sit is Cam Newton. Don't like Cam Newton against the Rams. I think the Rams are absolutely going to destroy him on defense. This isn't the Chargers. This is the better LA team. Miles Sanders against the New Orleans Saints. Hell no. Stay away from me. You already see how bad it is with Sanders in that production. Only 6 carries 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And then last week was abysmal. I just don't understand what they're doing, Miles. Wide receiver, obviously, DJ Shark going against just lost it, man. I need to start writing this shit down. Going against the Titans. Definitely staying away from it. Tennessee's defense is a must start for me this week. They need this win. They are tied with the Colts at 8-4. Got to get a win this week for the Titans. And then Hayden Hurst against the Chargers. I think Chargers linebacking core is going to focus on him, and that's great for me because in Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage and all these cats, they're not going to be able to stop. So good riddance for that defense. Alex has got Kirk Cousins, Minnesota quarterback, must sit against Tampa Bay. We have the same running back, Miles Sanders. I looked at Devontae Parker. I like this one. Devontae Parker for the Miami Dolphins. They're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Great pick. I'm staying away from him. Tight end Austin Hooper. Once again, always a same pick for Alex with tight end here. Cleveland Browns tight end. Cleveland Browns are playing against the
Baltimore Ravens.
All right, guys, we're going to get down to 4th down, week 14 pick 'em. Let's get into it. Alex has got me by a game. I didn't have time to put the stats up. Let's get it going. Pats against the Rams. Alex, who you got?
There's too many weapons for Belichick to slow down. I picked the Rams.
Oh yeah, way too many weapons. Not there was a lot of weapons with the Chargers. The difference is the LA Rams offensive line is 20 times better.
Yeah.
And the coaching. Titans 8-4 against Jags 1-11. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the Titans here. The Jags are trying to tank for Lawrence.
Yep.
This is probably one of the biggest games of the week. Minnesota Vikings come in against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Vikings are 6-6, still fighting for a playoff spot because of that beautiful 7th seed. The Buccaneers are just trying to stay afloat in the NFC just to get in. Buccaneers, Vikings. I got the Buccaneers. I can't count out Tom Brady. I think the Buccaneers have had time. They've had 2 weeks to prepare, and I think that they're just going to focus on Dalvin Cook and trying to slow Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson down. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot to slow these guys down, but make Kirk Cousins throw. I got Buccaneers.
Yeah, Buccaneers are favored by 6.5. That's a huge number. Vegas is not normally wrong on big numbers like that. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
The Kansas City Chiefs, another great game. 11-1. They are looking at the number 1 seed with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are also 11-1. They go against a top team when the Dolphins, who are 8-4. Dolphins' offense has been kind of shaky as late, but their defense is nonstop. They're going to have a problem this week against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. I got the Kansas City Chiefs, Alex. I think they're going to come out with a dub.
Yeah, listen, I got the Chiefs as well. Also, this could be a trap game in the fact that the Chiefs have to look ahead to next week, which is the Saints, right? So that's going to be a tough matchup, right? That's a coin flip to me. That'll probably be the hardest game for me to call this year if Drew is back. If Taysom's still back behind the center, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. It still might be a close game because I think, like I said, the Saints are underrated on defense. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I got long-winded there, sorry.
Talking. Broncos, who are 4-8, go against the Panthers, who are 4-8. This is going to be a pretty good game, I think. It's going to be evenly matched. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's up with CMC. Today it was reported that he's still having issues with his shoulder. And a new injury surfaced last week with his thigh. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the Broncos this one, Alex. I just thought if CMC doesnn't play, if CMC's playing, then I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to take the Panthers. I think that this is going to be controversial, but I think the Panthers have a better defense. And so, and right now, I think Teddy's playing better at quarterback. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
The Texans are at 4-8, and they go against the Bears, who are 5-7. Bears have been on a huge losing streak, Alex. I know this game doesn't matter. I think the Bears are pretty much out of the playoffs now. But for me, personally, I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. After Deshaun Watson fumbled the ball in the red zone, he's going to look for some revenge, and he's also going to look for some revenge and some extra motivation that the Bears skipped on him for Mitch Trubisky. I got the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Texans as well. It's a pick-em game. It's 1.5. Houston's 1.5 point favorite on the road. So that tells you that if this was in Texas, they'd be favored by a touchdown, right? So I'm going to go with the Texans. They're the better team overall.
The Arizona Cardinals, who are 6-6 and fighting for a playoff spot, go against the Giants, who are on a 5-game winning streak. Giants are just coming out beating off one of the top teams across the NFL, which is the Seattle Seahawks. This game's tough. Kyle Murray's dealing with a shoulder injury for me, Alex. I feel like the defense are figuring him out a little bit. I got the New York Giants with an upset. I don't know if they're favored or not, but I got the New York Giants. I feel like it's an upset.
Cardinals are favored.
Okay.
I like the Giants as well. I like the way that defense is playing. I really like Gallman. They imagine if they would have had a two-headed monster of Saquon and Gallman. Like, you don't get a break on defense if you're on that defensive line, right? If you got both of those guys, they're both studs, right? So, yeah, I like the Giants. Imagine if Daniel Jones was – imagine without the injuries this year, some teams, what the records would be. I think the Giants would be the clear favorite in this division if they didn't have the injuries that they have. So I'm going to go Giants.
So far we picked all the same teams. Cowboys go against the Bengals. Cowboys are 3-9. Bengals are 2-9. No Joe Burrow, never picking him. I'm going with Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, the same.
Okay. I like this game a lot. Indianapolis Colts are going against the Las Vegas Raiders at Las Vegas. Raiders are 7-5, just came off a dramatic win against the Jets. And the Colts are 8-4. Alex, this game has a lot of implications. Titans got an easy game this week with the Jags. Colts got to stay afloat and stay with the Jags for that division win. Who you got?
This is very tough for me because, in my opinion, Waller has been unguardable by everybody this year. But the strength of the Colts this year is their defense, in my opinion.
Yes.
So maybe they figure it out. Maybe they've got the Rubik's Cube and they put it all together and they figure out how to stop Waller. Because if you can stop Waller, you can stop that offense.
Yes.
Josh Jacobs has not been impressive to me this year. Waller is the true impressive thing on this team to me this year. So I'm going to go with the Colts. I'm shaky on it. Before the show, when I looked at this, I said Raiders right off the bat, just because the Colts kind of in a letdown game after just winning a big game. But I'm going to stick with my guns because I really think the Colts are going to win that division. That was my prediction. So I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, man, for me, it's the Colts. It's easy for me. After what they struggled last week against the Jets, the Raiders are playing a way more tougher defense that's hungry. Jonathan Taylor's finally getting in that mode of being that top pick, that number 1 round pick. And Nyheim Hines, what a find for fantasy managers. And Phillip Rivers is playing great ball. You got to admit when it's time to admit he's playing. He might be playing better ball than Tom Brady. I mean, we can look at the stats and look and see, but overall, this defense is there. The offensive line is playing great, playing good, not great. But other than that, I'm not afraid of the Raiders defense at all whatsoever. I know Rivers ain't. He knows them very well. AFC West, a division rival. I got to go with the experience. I got to go with Rivers. Split wide 2 banana. Let's go. Colts. Guys, Jets 0-12 go against the Seahawks. Like I said, Seahawks one of the most easiest schedules for an 8-4 team to close out the season. Upset of the week is coming.
Oh, you dirty
The
turd.
New York Jets will go into Seattle. They will put the flag down, and they will shut the 12th man up. The New York Jets are getting their first win for the 2020 season, and it's going to shake the NFL draft order because the Jags and the Jets will be tied at 1-12. New York Jets are getting a dub. Jets, Jets.
Yeah, listen, I was going to call this as my upset of the week, but now I'm going to go with the Seahawks so that I can build a 2-game lead on you 100%. I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
Puss. The Green Bay Packers, who are 9-3, go against the division rival, who are the Lions at 5-7. I'm not going to talk much about this game. Packers are going to annihilate the Detroit Lions. Aaron Rodgers plays great in domes. Aaron Rodgers, Packers, Aaron Jones, 3 touchdowns. Packers win.
Yeah, I mean, 7.5-point favors going into their field. So, yeah, Packers are a pretty safe bet. I'm going to go Packers.
Devontae Adams owners must be really happy this week. My God.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Falcons 4-8. This is going to be the best game of the week. Watch. Chargers at 3-9. Listen, man. I'm a Charger fan. Die hard. You guys better lose. I got the Falcons winning.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's favored going to LA
Good.
by 2.5, so basically a field goal, right?
Should be 12.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Falcons in this game too, but it's a tough situation because neither one of these teams really want to win, right? I mean, of course they want to win. They're professionals. You get what I'm saying, but like, they're not playing for postseason.
No.
So at this point, they're in a We want the best players that we can get for next year so that maybe we can be in the postseason.
Yes.
So with that being said, I think right now the Falcons are a better team, not by much, but right now at this point in time, they're a little bit better. So I'm going to go Falcons.
Washington football team's 5-7. They just came off a huge win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go against the 49ers, who are 5-7. Alex Smith might get a little bit of a revenge game here against San Fran. Honestly, man, I like this game a lot. I just feel like the Washington football team has a more healthier defense. I'm going to go with the Washington football team 20-17.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going Washington as well. This is an upset, though, according to Vegas. San Fran's favored by 3 at home, which is shocking, right? I would have thought it had been a bigger. I thought it had been a bigger line, honestly.
Yeah.
But I told you that front 7 is very scary, and that's why I picked them against the Steelers. No. But I'm just saying that's why I picked them against the Steelers last week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that they're going to make life rough for Mullins. I don't think he's going to have a lot of time in the pocket. And I think they'll do just enough. Yeah, 21-17, 20-17, 24-21. That sounds good. It's a field goal. I just think it's the other way. I think Washington wins.
Saints, who are 10-2, go against the Eagles, who are 3-8-1. Jalen Hurts is quarterback. I don't need to talk about much more than that. New Orleans Saints are going to get the dub.
By a huge margin, I feel like.
San Francisco's at home in Zona. Yeah, they are. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 11-1, coming off a huge loss against the Washington football team, are going against the Bills, who just had a huge win Monday night against the San Francisco 49ers. Josh Allen is figuring it out.
They tell you.
Watch out, Pittsburgh, because Buffalo Bills are getting the win, and they will become 10-3.
Yep. Same exact pick I got. I told you Allen was the best quarterback out of that draft, I feel like.
Yeah, I do too. The final game, which is the Monday night game, the Baltimore Ravens at 7-5 against your Alex Krogan III. Browns, who are 9-3. Alex, talk to me about this game.
If you'd have talked to me 3 weeks ago, I would have said I marked this down as a loss on our schedule.
Without a doubt.
Like, this was one of the 6 losses I had, right? Remember I said 10-6. So
yep.
That's what I thought. Now I'm looking at 11-5, 12-4 range is really what Baker impressed me that much in the first half. Now, he reverted back to old Baker in the second half, and I don't know if what we're seeing is play calling from Stefanski, which is limiting Baker, or if he really shies away in the big moment, or if it's not a big moment, because the first half was a big moment, and then they built a huge lead, and then they just tried to hold on by the seat of their pants, and then he made that bonehead move instead of going down and punting the ball. He tried to stretch, and he fumbled. Even though if you look at the replay 10 times, it looks like his knee was down. It doesn't matter. It was called on the field. That wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. It was going to stay a fumble, right? So he still makes those mistakes that drive me nuts because he throws 4 touchdowns in the first half and looks like a world beater, unstoppable, scary Baker, right? I'm a dangerous man, right? That's what he looked like in the first half. We have to have this game. We have to have this game because if we're going to compete in the playoffs, we're going to see teams like the Ravens in the playoffs, right? And better. So you can't just get a big, huge win against the Titans and then go back to being the third sibling of the NFC or AFC North, right? You can't be the third child. You got to fight for that number 1 spot. So I'm going to go with the Browns, more of a hope pick than a 100% pick. I think the Browns are going to squeak it out. I don't think they're going to blow them out like all these clowns on the Browns forums are predicting that we're going to go 13-3. We're going to finish the season undefeated. There's a chance, right? there's a chance that I get struck by lightning too, and it's not raining outside. So let's be honest here.
It could happen.
Right. I honestly think our ceiling is 12-4. We're going to drop one game, most likely to the Steelers. I don't know why they can't get over that big brother complex with the Steelers in the last couple years. We used to split with them all the time. We've been going 0-2 against them all the time. We normally split with the Ravens. They embarrassed us, so maybe there's a revenge factor. I'm hoping that all these guys nut up and show up and play like they did against the Titans in the first half. Browns for all those reasons. And Baltimore's only favored by 1, so it's literally a pick.
Sometimes I question your loyalty to your own team. And with that being said, the Cleveland Browns, I called this 2 years ago in another company that has the letters A, E, and E on it. And I said in 2020, the Cleveland Browns will make the playoffs and they will win the division. That promise is coming this year. It's 2020. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to lose against the Bills on Sunday night. That's just extra motivation for these Browns. It is time to take it and claim it. AFC North is coming back to Cleveland. LeBron James won a title. There's a reason why he's on Twitter rooting them on, because that's his hometown team. Illuminati is somewhere around here. It's going to be the Cleveland Browns. They are going to shock the world on Monday night, primetime. Baker is going to find a Raven and stick it into the middle of the field after his 5th touchdown pass. And the Ravens are going to win. The Ravens are going to win. And listen,
the Ravens are going to win.
I'm sorry, the Browns. The Browns are going to win. Sorry. And with that being said, I got something better for you. The Cleveland Browns will not lose one more game the rest of the season. They will go 13-3, and they will win the AFC North. That is a bold prediction, and I am not afraid to say it. The Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Baker Mayfield, he's showing up. Cleveland Browns are winning the game Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens. You want to know my score?
Yeah, tell me your score.
You want to know the score?
Yeah.
28-15. Cleveland Browns.
Okay. I mean,
no, I'm sorry, 35-13. He throws 5 touchdown passes.
Okay. There you go.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Yep.
Listen,
Yep.
You sound like all these wonderful people on my forums that I'm part
I'm
of.
from San Diego. Way different story.
Man.
The Cleveland Browns remind me of the 2018 Chargers.
Okay.
They do. Great rushing attack. Offensive line's playing great. Defense is playing solid. And Baker Mayfield just needs to be like Phillip Rivers to be a game manager. But I think he could do it.
Pro Football Focus, we're number 2 offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're playing like that 100% because
without a doubt.
Baker has time to throw. I need him to be first half Baker all the time, not 50% of the time, right? Like I need that confidence. I need that moxie. I need that decision making, right?
Right.
In the first half, he didn't make a bad throw. He didn't make a questionable throw. He didn't throw into double coverage. He didn't take too long and hold on to the ball. All the issues I've had with him the whole time, he didn't do any of that, right?
Yeah.
He looked amazing. He made a believer out of me, and then he yanked the sheets back out from underneath me in the second half.
He's got to learn how to play a complete game. So
yeah,
he'll
100%.
learn.
Yep.
He'll get it. They need to win. This is the time to
Well, they have to win.
To certify yourself as a contender. And you're going to face these teams in the playoffs. So you better win now and figure it out, because come playoff time, there's no excuses. You can't lose and just let's go to next week. It's going home. So If there's ever a time for Baker to prove those critics wrong, do a 360 turn. It started last week, but it needs to continue, and he needs to get a. If there's not a quarterback that needs a playoff win more than Lamar Jackson, then it has to be Baker Mayfield at number 2. He needs to solidify himself as a playoff win, get a playoff win. Because if he gets that, then he holds that over Lamar Jackson's head. He holds that over Sam Darnold's head. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
Listen, this is how bad they need it. If they lose this game, they finish the season 10-6, 9-7. I think it makes that much of a difference. If they lose this game, they lose to the Giants, they lose to the Steelers, they only beat the Jets. I legit think that's what happens. Because the Giants game legitimately scares me. If we win this game, coming off 2 huge wins, getting monkey off of our back, I 100% agree. I legitimately it's that pivotal of a game. If we lose this game, we finish 10-6, 9-7, 100%.
I agree. Well, guys, that is our picks. That is our show. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. Hope you guys have a great week. I know fantasy playoffs start tomorrow against, I think it's the Rams and the Pats, Thursday Night Football. So it's going to be a great week of football. I can't wait. And Alex, any final words?
Yeah, this is not NFL related, but I don't know if you noticed the news where they changed the rules so Ohio State doesn't have to have 6 games minimum, so they can play against Northwestern, and obviously they're going to smash Northwestern in the Big Ten Conference Championship, which they're going to get into the playoffs, which I personally don't think that they deserve to, only playing 6 games all year, but we're going to be in contention for another national championship. So
good. Long on Alabama.
As a Buckeye, I'm excited for that. Other than that, listen, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, wear your mask, wear your mask, wear your mask. If you don't need the mask, there are people around you that probably do need you to wear it so that they don't get sick, right? I know a lot of
they should wear a mask then.
Agreed. Everybody needs to wear a mask, guy.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, listen, just stay safe. Take care of your family. I'm really enjoying. I feel reinvigorated joining the buzz, man. I these last 2 shows feel back to when we first started together. I feel alive again. I'm very excited. I felt like we were getting dead, and it wasn't as fun anymore. Now I'm having a blast again. This has been a lot of fun. I could tell you have less stress, because you deal with a lot more of the show than I do. The setting up and all that stuff. I just show up and look beautiful, which is very easy. But yeah, man, everybody stay safe and enjoy your week.
Yeah, man, stay safe, everybody, and check out the buzz. We just, like I said, man, huge interview last night with Wes Bregman, one of the challenge goats for MTV show The Challenge. Go check it out. It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, it's on our Facebook page, and please give us a follow, give us a like, and don't be afraid to go around and feel the buzz, because the buzz is coming. All right, guys, have a good show. We'll catch you next week. We'll try to do better as always. And for Alex and I, this is Game Winning Drive. We'll catch you guys next week.